If you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell so you'll be notified for future videos, and we'll see you on the next video. What you're gonna wanna do is find old docks. Now you can see all the algae underneath this dock. It's just absolutely covered in algae. A lot of times a dock doesn't even need to have brush. Just drop your jig in and around the boat or the dock and just vertical jig up.
Pretty girl, pretty girl.
Woo! Thank you, Jack.
Anytime, anytime.
Yes, sir. Most cat fishermen are good crappie fishermen. You can just tie on a little, I use a 16th ounce jig head. I would actually use a 32nd, but the location of the lake where I fish, there's a decent amount of current. It doesn't really look like it, but there's a good amount of current. That's why I go with a 16th. A 32nd gets swept where I'm at. These soft plastics I'm getting ready to show you, they're pretty common. You can buy them about anywhere. There's a lot of different brands, but all it is it's about a 2-inch little single tail grub, and that's all you need. You can pretty much go vertical fish, docks. You'll find that a lot of these docks, especially on these older reservoirs, have brush piles, and they'll hold crappie. It's nothing to go catch 6 or 8 crappie for a fishing trip. These are Bobby Garlands. You'll catch them on about any color. I prefer black. These aren't solid black. These are licorice chartreuse pearl. And you're gonna wanna stick him right in the center of that soft plastic. You can either come out of his back or you can come out of his belly. I know guys that prefer to come out of their belly. That works too. I'm going to come out of his back. I'm going to run that guy down, keep it straight. I'm just going to come out of his back. What'll happen is your line will want to come off this way. So what you do is you grab that knot on your line and you pull it back up to the top so your jig head is resting like this. Because what will happen is your line will come down and your jig head will rest like that. And you'll notice on the cast that you adjust your jig head where it sits like that, you'll actually get bit more often. A lot of guys will tie a loop knot on these. I just tie a Palomar, and every so many casts I just pull my knot back up to the top so that jig rides like that right there. Good morning. Jack, what's up, buddy? How's it going, buddy?
Good, bud. How about you?
Getting ready to go catch some catfish, I hope.
I'm gonna try too.
Is that you over here?
No, I'm up here on the hill. I saw your truck and I said, dang, he might be videoing. I don't want to get in the way.
That's all right. Say bye, Jack.
Bye.
Don't let them see a hint of fear.
I brought, like I showed you a little bit ago, I brought a spinning rod with a Bobby Garland and a little jig head, and I just went and shot a dock. I didn't even have to go to multiple docks. I actually was able to pick up bait on the very first dock I hit. Now that's not always the case. Sometimes, you know, I'd say once you cast about 5 times and move to another dock, you'll eventually find some. Or go to the back of a creek and throw your net up on the banks. Now, you're gonna get hung up some when you're throwing a net in the back of a creek. There's a lot of brush, there's a lot of limbs, trees, things of that nature, but you'll learn where you can throw it and where you can't. Now, I'm not the best net thrower in the world, but I'm not gonna throw pancakes every time, but I do open it enough to catch bait. So you don't have to be an expert net thrower to go net you some bait. And what I like to do, I don't even use a depth finder. I don't try to mark my fish. I fish areas where I think catfish should be. Those areas will vary. I'll have, sometimes I'll fish ledges. And the area, the the part of the lake that I'm fishing, I know it like the back of my hand, so I know where the channel is. I know about where the channel edges are. You know, now if you don't know the lake, then I definitely recommend using a graph, because you're not going to be able to pinpoint structure without a graph. With a graph, you can pinpoint structure. You control a channel edge for half an hour. You can move over to the center of the channel for half an hour. You can go troll some flats for half an hour. You can zigzag the channel, you know, whatever it may be. It's a lot easier when you got a graph with maps, so you can see what you're doing.
Been too afraid to share my fears with you. Although I know
That water gets
there ain't
cooler.
no safer place than here.
Oh yeah. He's got mud on him, Lee. I was listening to Patriot James' show the other day, and Lee had Lee Huffman on there, and Lee was talking about he'll start anchoring when it cools off enough and you start catching fish and they got mud all over them. Well, this one's got mud all over him. Female. That one's got mud all over the side of it, Lee. Right on the channel edge. Decent little blue. See all the mud on his side? Never know who you're gonna run into out here. I was over here fishing, man, and this guy started fishing my spot. I was like, who is this jackleg fishing on top of me like this? I turn around and look, it's these two guys. I heard tell they can catch a couple fish if they really try.
Yeah, except in tournaments.
Lately, everything's trembling. All my shelters are opening. Feels like everything's crumbling. All the windows are shattering. Hold your horses, it's too cold to read. Face expressions.
I don't think he's that big.
Dip your sadness in this bowl.
He's decent.
Till you feel minor changes in your body.
Woo! Damn! They tore my fingers up, boy.
Taking, everyone's grabbing, all the women are howling.
Good fish.
Pretty girl.
It's a good fish.
Pretty girl. Pretty girl. Catch and release.
Woo! Thank you, Jack.
Anytime, anytime.
Hit the areas that you think the fish are going to be. Troll those areas, troll that area, get them up, go to the next area, put them out, start and troll that area. Run and gun on your kayak. Guys, if you're going to use an IMA graphite pitching rod for catfish, then don't use circle hooks. I like a good whippy rod, but with plenty of backbone. See how whippy that rod is? I never lose a fish. That lets that fish eat. Just make sure whatever rod you're using, it isn't stiff as a board if you're going to use circle hooks, okay? I'll use the next one. Anybody, or anything that keeps you from achieving your goals or living your dreams, they got to go.